Things to watch out for. I think Mitchell Starc, obviously early for Australia, swinging that ball, bowling it full and then using the short ball effectively. We'll have to wait and see if the ball swings today. If he swings it, he's a lot more difficult to play. Indian batting, look, obviously a good opening stand in that first 10 is very important. Rohit Sharma's been very successful against Australia. I'm expecting him to do well today. And then obviously the number 3 in Kohli. He's a key man for India. But I think Australia's going to have a very specific plan to him, especially early in his innings. And I'm very interested to see how he handles that and whether they can get him out. I think they're going to bowl, you know, fuller and wider and try and swing the ball away from him, keep it away from him, and try and get him caught, you know, behind the wicket there on the offside. And then later on, if things go well for India, how Australia responds. Can we win that big moment in the middle there? Can we take a couple of wickets in the middle and then apply some pressure at the end when India's looking to find the boundaries? Can we get that ball up there, create some wicket opportunities through Yorkers, maybe a little bit of reverse swing? So a lot of exciting things to look forward to. But in a final, I think the main thing is execution under pressure. You know, everyone wants to run up and bowl a certain ball, but being able to get it where you want it is very important.
All right, now let's once again go across live to Boria Majumdar, who's still got a lot of fans with him. Boria, over to you.
You know, I just want to show you what the scenes are here like. You know, let Manish show this. I mean, I've been enjoying this for the last 1 hour, and one must give credit to the Australians. Now they're trickling in. I actually can see some gold. I can see some flags, some Australian fans as well. Overwhelming majority of Indians, as you can see, you know, they will go. Let's have a chat.
जीतेगा भाई जीतेगा इंडिया जीतेगा 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 2011 की जीत इंडिया करेगा रिपीट 2011 की जीत इंडिया करेगा रिपीट.
Okay, you know, if Manish can once again show the scenes at the back. Manish, if you can sort of pan, see the scenes. You know, this is unreal. In Melbourne, we saw invasion of blue. But in Sydney, the kind of scenes I'm witnessing outside the Sydney cricket ground, even if it was an 85,000 capacity stadium, it would have been all sold out. You know, I'm seeing hoardings of Mahendra Singh Dhoni with Narendra Modi. I'm seeing weird banners. I'm seeing kangaroos dressed up in Indian jerseys. But what I've seen so far is a lot of camaraderie between fans, and that's what I like. Yes, there is banter, there's a lot of friendly banter, but it's all in good jest, all in good fun, and that's what I would want to see. I want to see a real spectacle, and the scenes outside, as you can see in your visuals at the moment, is what is a real spectacle. This World Cup is well and truly a success. Cosmopolitan Australia, multicultural Australia, at its very best with these scenes. Indian fans from all over the world have taken over Sydney.
Right, Boria, stay with those fans. We'll come back to you in a bit. Nikhil, of course, you saw all those visuals, the Indian flags and everything else. You've been a part of the Indian dressing room. Tell me two things. One, how big a moment is it for an Indian to be representing his country outside India, seeing all these flags ahead of a big match? And secondly, what do you think Mahendra Singh Dhoni must have been telling his team in the dressing room right now?
Well, first and foremost, when you're part of the Indian cricket team, forget about even going and representing your country in overseas. Even if you're playing for India in India, it's a huge honor. You know, you get to represent your nation, and then when you're overseas, it's better. But everybody's dream is to go out there and play the World Cup. You know, that is the icing on the cake, that is special. And every youngster, whoever dons the India colours, is playing for his country in the World Cup, he wants to go out there and do something special. But you've got to be careful. Andrew's been, you know, repeating himself, saying that this is the final, this is the semi-final, you've got to be a little careful, don't get carried away. When you're overexcited, you try and do things a bit too much, things can go wrong. You look at the South Africans, you look at AB de Villiers, the kind of mistakes.
In fact, Nikhil, just to cut you short, in news just in, Australia have won the toss and Australia will be batting first.
No,
so that's a big development. Andrew, first of all, your perspective on this, and then I'll take Nikhil's.
Yeah, as I said just before, no surprises on the team that won't win the toss will bat first. So now it comes down to Australia being able to execute their plan, scoring a big total, defending, attacking, when to do it. playing well in the first 10 overs firstly, but for me I'd break it down even smaller than that. And the first ball of your innings as an individual is very important. You know, looking to get off strike, scoring your first run, and then if you're an Indian, you know, having a good first ball as the bowler to get your day going, get your confidence up, and then having a good first over as a fielding unit. You know, don't let Australia pinch it an easy single. Make sure you take your first chance, and little things like this is so important in a big game.
Let's also get a quick perspective from Boria Majumdar before we go to Nikhil. Boria, Australia won the toss. They're going to be batting first. What's your take on Australia's decision? You've seen the pitch and the conditions as well.
Oh, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer, Himanshu. Australia win toss, bat first is a no-brainer. There are some Australian fans and Indian fans. Australia has won the toss, batting first. What's your take? Australia has won the toss, batting first.
At least 400.
No way!
I think the better team's going to win in the day, and I think it's going to be Australia.
All out for 200! All out for 200!
Having said that, Himanshu, win toss, bat first. I think it's a big toss to win for Michael Clarke. Australia won't choke. If it's a 300 plus total on that board, India will find it hugely difficult against Mitchell Johnson, Mitchell Starc and the rest. I think it's a big toss for Michael Clarke.
No one can stop us. It's India's World Cup. No one can stop us.
All right, Boria, we'll come back to you in a bit. Nikhil, you heard what Boria had to say. Pressure on India now, since Australia won the toss. They're batting first.
Well, the important thing, you know, we've been saying this, that 7 games, you've got 70 odd wickets. Now's the best time to try and bowl the Australian side out, because don't forget, most of the occasions where we bowled out the opposition, we batted first and put a big total, and when sides are chasing, you know, you can get 10 wickets. We only bowled, against the West Indies, when we bowled them out for 180 odd, and then I think it was Zimbabwe, when we bowled them out for 280 odd. But now's your best time to test the waters of actually what the Indian bowling is made up of. But I want to ask Andrew a question. When you're looking to chase at Sydney, you spoke about dew. Things are going to improve if the dew sets in. You know, and if there's a little bit of water, barring at the first 10 overs, of course, Starc and Hazelwood would come try and swing that ball. But with a little bit of dew, when the ball gets wet, it won't swing. It'll actually help the Indian side to go out there and bat, because you can go out there and play your shots. Then you won't get too much lateral movement off the wicket.
Yeah, you're right. Once the dew gets on the wicket too, sometimes when the ball gets a little older, the ball checks in the wicket a little bit and doesn't come onto the bat, and it can be quite difficult, especially early in your innings, to get going. But with the dew, when the dew comes on the wicket, the ball slides onto the bat, and then it's actually quite nice to bat on.
In fact, Andrew, let's also now very quickly go across to some of our reporters spread across India. Let's now go to Manogya Lohiwal as well as Rasesh Mandhani. Rasesh is joining us from Mumbai, and of course Manogya from Kolkata. Rasesh, Australia batting first after winning the toss. Some quick reactions from the fans and of course their expectations.
Sure, Himanshu, you know, we've spoken about how much emotion the Indian fans invest in and how much they love the game. It's just broken them the news about Australia winning the toss, and some of them were slightly concerned. So they understand the game, they understand that it's a big toss to win, but I would think they would maintain their composure. Australia batting कर रहा है, इससे कितना फर्क पड़ेगा आपका?
गणपति बप्पा मोरिया, आज कोई भी मैच हो जाए, आज जीतेगा सिर्फ इंडिया, और ये हमारा इंडिया का शान है, और इंडिया ही जीत के रहेगा।
अब शिखर धवन के अवतार में है।
शिखर धवन हमारा फेवरेट है, आज वो खेलेगा, उसको खेलना ही पड़ेगा, क्योंकि इंडिया को विन करना है और फाइनल भी मारना है। जिस तरह धोनी हमारा लकी चैम्प कैप्टन है, हमारा इंडिया भी विन होगा और हम आगे बढ़ेंगे।
बताइए कौन मैच जिताएगा आज इंडिया को?
रोहित शर्मा, भारत माता की, रोहित शर्मा, भारत माता की जय। आज समी अपना खेल खेलेगा, समी अपनी विकेट सबसे ज्यादा लेगा।
अच्छा, आप इतने एनर्जी के साथ बात कर रहे हैं, वहाँ पे सिडनी से हमें बड़ी आवाज आ रही है, आपकी आवाज सिडनी तक पहुँचनी चाहिए। किस तरह चीयर करेंगे आज इंडिया?
भारत माता की जीतेगा भाई, जीतेगा, इंडिया जीतेगा, और जीतेगा भाई, जीतेगा, इंडिया जीतेगा, और जीतेगा भाई, जीतेगा।
That's the passion, that's the emotion, Himanshu. You know, some of them a little concerned India has lost the toss, but the others believing win first, bat second, whatever they be. You know, they look at this as a final before the final, hoping that India go all the way.
All right, Rasesh, stay with us. We'll come back to you in a bit. Let's now go across to Manogya Loiwal, who's joining us from Kolkata. Manogya, you've also got some fans, some pretty young ones as well as the old ones with you as well. Take some quick reactions from them on the fact that Australia won the toss. They're batting first. Are they disappointed? Were they looking forward to seeing India bat first?
Well, of course, I am the most disappointed out of all because I was waiting for India to bat first and watch everyone batting early in the morning with a fresh mood. But now it's a little disappointing. Is it disappointing that Australia will be batting first now?
Not at all. We'll take 10 wickets. We'll take 10 wickets.
And how confident are you about the win this time?
We are a good chasers. We'll definitely chase the total. And we'll.
Do you feel do you feel that had we been batting first, the game would have been on the other side? No, India is going to take the chance anyway out. How confident are you about this?
250 रन में सल्टा देंगे उनको.
250 रन में सल्टा देंगे.
इस बार 80 विकेट हम लेंगे 70 पिछले मैच तक and we will chase whatever total they put up.
1 run extra. That's it.
How difficult?
Have you ever seen tigers fighting kangaroos?
Never. Oh, this comes as a statement. Have you ever seen tigers fighting the kangaroos? And this time it's kangaroos fighting the tigers. Let them bat first, but that doesn't mean that they would be winning because the confidence of 125 crore people of India is far more stronger than a few Australians, and of course the thousands of supporters in Australian Sydney ground who will be cheering for India is of course to be heard by each and every player in the cricket ground.
All right, stay with us, Manogya. We'll come back to you in a bit. Andrew, tigers biting kangaroos. This Indian team has taken 70 wickets already in 7 matches. Do you expect that total to go to 80 very soon?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think that'll happen today. I think if India can take 7, maybe 8 wickets, that'll restrict Australia. But today's not a day to be looking to bowl a side out or anything. I think today's a day where you got to bite off small chunks. If you bite off more than you can chew, or you get involved in a scuffle or something verbally with someone that's not your way of playing, or you just got to be aware of match awareness today is very important. And India, you know, look, you lose the toss, you can still win the game. You know, there's 2 components to the game, obviously batting and fielding. And if India come out and attack Australia early on, take early wickets, that'll give them a big chance in the game today. Because remember then, Australia's also under pressure to get a good start, a good middle, and then have a good finish. So, you know, as I said today, the big moments are where teams have got to try and take the advantage away from the opposition.
All right, let's once again go across to Boria Majumdar to take his perspective. He's, of course, got a few fans with him as well. Boria, let's get a final cheer from Sydney before the match begins.
Okay, you want a final cheer from Sydney before the match begins. Go!
India! 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 2011 की जीत! इंडिया करेगा रिपीट! 2011 की जीत! इंडिया करेगा रिपीट! 2011 की जीत!
And I want Manish to show you the scenes one final time. If you can see these scenes, enjoy them. After the match, one side will be crestfallen, one side will have jubilation. There will be euphoria and ecstasy and tears on the other side. But before the match, both sides are excited. The scenes here tells you that it is a real spectacle on the cards. Sydney Cricket Ground will witness history in the making. Australia, as organisers of this World Cup, should be thrilled. Cricket Australia, Cricket New South Wales should be absolutely delighted with what they're seeing here today. As a cricket analyst, as a cricket fan, it can't get better than this. I think Australia has the edge after the toss. If they get 300 plus, it will be very difficult for India. At this point in time, my prediction is 70 Australia, 30 India.
All right, Boria, stay with us. We'll come back to you in a bit. Andrew, that's pretty interesting. You heard what Boria had to say. Of course, Australia have now won the toss. They're batting first. We know that. How do you think the Indian bowlers, what are the areas where the Indian bowlers can now target the Australian batsmen to restrict them to as small a total as possible? In fact, we can have a little bit of a demonstration from you as well at the areas of the pitch where you can demonstrate to us the kind of line and the length the Indian bowlers can bowl as well.
You want me to just...
Yes, yeah, sure. We can get up. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think firstly, as I said, it's a big game. There will be some early nerves.
Right.
So if India get the ball in the right area early on, they may create some opportunities for themselves. As I said earlier, the short ball's definitely part of the game today, definitely.
Right.
But don't overdo it. The Australians play the short ball well, but bearing in mind that the boundaries in Sydney are fairly larger than other grounds that we've seen. So you can use that to your advantage too. Men taking the short ball on you may be able to get a catch in the deep square leg, top edge, deep fine leg. But let's get to the lengths. Firstly, so let's go to David Warner.
Right.
Okay,
it's his home ground, right?
David Warner's home ground, so he's played in Sydney a lot. But bowling to him, he looked a little bit tentative in the last game that he played to me. He wasn't his natural flowing self when we played Pakistan. He looked a little bit choked up, so I'm very interested to see how he goes in his first, over. But the line that they want to be looking to bowl at him, they want to look to pitch up and swing the ball back to hit off stump if the ball swings.
Right.
Cramp him up. As soon as you give him any width, he's a very good cutter, and if you drop short and you don't get it high, he'll pull you away as well.
Right. In fact, Andrew, let's also get a quick perspective from you. We have the team up and running here on the video wall. I'll ask my producer to put the team up here on the video wall so that we can get a quick perspective on the team, and then we'll ask you for a demonstration as well. So there we go. The Indian team for you. So MS Dhoni, of course, Shikhar Dhawan, Rohit Sharma. We'll have all the 11 players up and running here on the video wall for you. Andrew, your perspective on the names that you're seeing here on the video wall.
Oh, look, that team's unchanged. They haven't made any changes. They've played very well. 7 from 7. No one's going to change the team. So no surprises there.
We'll also get the Australian team on the video wall very soon. I would request my producer to have the Australian team here up and running on the video wall as well. And we'll get the perspective from Andrew and Nikhil on that. All right, so there you go. Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, Warner and Finch to lead Australia away shortly. Michael Clark's the captain. You got a very important middle order there. Maxwell, Watson. Then we've got a strong lower middle order too with Johnson, Haddon and Faulkner, sorry. And then obviously these are our pacemen in Stark and Hazelwood.
Do you think Hazelwood would come out with a new ball with Stark, or do you think Johnson would share the new ball with Stark?
It's an interesting one because I'd like to see Mitch open the bowling to give him a chance to swing the ball with his pace. But Hazelwood, with his height, he gets that extra bounce and he can swing the ball as well.
All right. In fact, Andrew, you also wanted to ask Boria a final question before he goes inside the stadium. This is your opportunity. Boria, Andrew had a question for you. One final question before you go inside the stadium and watch that match. Andrew, please go ahead.
Boria, I'm just wondering, have you spoken to anyone in the Australian team and this morning, and how is the ground surface after all that rain?
Not this morning, Andrew. Yesterday I had a chat with Michael Clark after the press conference when actually they had visited the ground. The ground surface is, there was no moisture. Its sun has been belting down yesterday and today. Today it's hot. As you can see, it's hot. So there will be no moisture. Maybe it could have slowed up a little bit under the covers, but I don't think that will happen. Nasser Hussain went and checked the pitch. He thinks it's a good batting deck. He was filming for another television channel for the host broadcaster inside that venue. Nasser tells me it's a very, very good batting deck, and if Australia bat first, 300 plus is very much on the cards. As I said, for me, it's a big toss to win. Michael Clark was very clear. Win, toss, bat first, put the runs on the board and put pressure. I think Australia will have the upper hand from here on.
All right. Thanks a lot, Boria, for all those insights. I hope you'll enjoy the match.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
All right, Andrew. So yeah, we can definitely go ahead with the demonstration. We need to definitely know and understand. Now that you've seen the team, you know the bowlers, the Indian bowlers as well as the Australian batsmen. How would you, if you were leading the Indian team, what would your advice be to the Indian bowlers now to target the Australian batsmen, especially the top 5 batsmen, specific areas, line and length? If he could have you on the pitch and then demonstrate everything to us.
We've been through David Warner, so
yes.
we'll have a look at Aaron Finch. Now, to me, Aaron Finch, at the moment, you saw he got trapped LBW against the Pakistan team. And what's happening is his head's going across and he's getting him outside the line of the ball, and his foot's going across and he's blocking himself off so his bat can't get at the ball. So if I was India, I'd take still look to take the ball away from him, swing it away and just around the top of off stump. But every now and then I'd look to slide one in or bowl a straight one that's going to hit middle and off to try and pick him up LBW.
And who are the best bowlers, according to you, who can get this done?
Well, I think the way Shami swings it, but he's a slider, he's a skidder, so he might be able to just take it away and then skid one straight at the stumps and look to knock him over LBW.
Well, you need somebody to bring the ball back in to Finch.
Yeah, or Yadav's got the ability to bring the ball, seam the ball back at Finch. That's always a difficult ball to face early in an innings, a ball that nips back at you. So option there, maybe he might be able to nip one back at him and get him LBW.
What about the other ones? After them?
Steve Smith.
Right.
I think Steve Smith's the real key to the Australian innings, because if he bats for a long period, he's going to be accumulating, and he just holds it all together. He's calm, he plays the quick swell, he plays the spin as well. So India need to look to get him out early. And he's a man...
Is somebody who jumps across to the offside quite a bit.
Yeah, he's a man. The last game he got out, he's very strong. He's a little bit like Kohli. You've got to keep the ball away from him a bit, but every now and then he does miss a straight one. But he'll only miss the straight one if you starve him of it. If you bowl too many at him, he just gets in the groove and he'll just pick you off there all day. So keeping the ball slightly wider to him, because he goes across, so you assume you take your stumps with you. So you want to look to bowl the ball sort of 4, 5, 6 inches outside off stump to him, and then use that impact ball, the straight ball, sparingly to try and trap him LBW early on.
Right. In fact, Nikhil, an important question for you. The SCG wicket likely to assist spin bowlers, Ravindra Jadeja as well as Ashwin. It's going to be a big challenge for both of them to really, deliver the goods for India this time. How do you think they would bowl? What sort of a plan would they have on this wicket?
Himanshu, it's completely different. Say that Shami and Umesh Yadav and Mohit Sharma get a couple of early wickets. If you've got guys in that middle order that he talks about, such important middle order, if they're batting on 2 or 4 or 5, it's a different ball game as a spinner. Then you're bowling slower through the air, you're looking to get that wicket. But if they're batting on 40s and 50s, then obviously I know as a bowler that they'll be looking to pick runs off me. Then it's a different case and scenario as well. Then also I've got to be looking where I'm going to be looking to stop the ones, still forcing the batsman to go out there and get 4s and 5s in an over. But if the case is around the momentum's with the Australian side, they're picking 7s and 8s and the game's looking to run away, then it's a different ball game altogether. Also, once again, Jadeja, to me, against the right-hander, he's got to be much, much slower through the air. He's got to try and extract a little bit of spin, because we've seen predominantly in this entire World Cup, he's pretty sharp in the air, and sometimes as a batsman, it gets easier. Somebody like Andrew or somebody like Smith, Clark, if you're getting pace off the wicket, you don't need to use your own strength. You can just work the ball. And even when you're looking to play the big shot, you use that pace. So I guess Mahendra Singh Dhoni is standing behind the stumps. He'd be the best judger to find out if he's bowling quick. Sometimes you hear Mahendra Singh Dhoni, calm down, dheere dalo, try and bowl a little slower as well. But those 20 overs, to me, in the middle, you need to try and pick up 2 to 3 wickets if you need to try and contain the Australian side less.